You know, sometimes you can see a character's entire journey, all their struggles, all their strengths, in just one single moment. Tonight, we're going to dive deep into a scene just like that. It's a welcoming feast at Winterfell that ends up being a real trial by fire for a young man named Jon Snow, forcing him to face what it really means to be an outsider.
It's a pretty startling thought, isn't it? To actually be glad for a label that society uses to push you down. And that one line, it just kicks off this whole incredible exploration of identity, of shame, and of the weird kind of freedom you can only find when you're on the outside looking in.
So where does Jon's story really kick off tonight? Well, it's not with the sting of rejection you might expect, but with the surprising freedom that comes with it. While all the high lords and ladies are up on a fancy platform, Jon's been sent down to the benches. And it's here, away from the spotlight, that he finds a world that's all his own.
Just try to picture the Great Hall. It's smoky, it's loud with laughter, plates are clattering everywhere, and down here on the benches, Jon isn't Lord Stark's bastard. Nope, he's just one of the guys. He can drink all he wants, listen to some pretty wild stories, and he even gets to keep his direwolf, Ghost, right there with him, which is something his trueborn siblings are absolutely not allowed to do. So right here, you really see the trade-off, clear as day. His brother and sisters, they get the honor of sitting with royalty, but it's all stiff and formal, full of rules. Jon, he gets left out, but that comes with wine, friendship, and the quiet, fierce company of his wolf. He's an outsider for sure, but for a little while it almost seems like he got the better end of the deal.
But this freedom, it comes with this really unique advantage, the view from below. See, because Jon isn't part of the main event, he gets to be an observer. His position gives him this unfiltered look at all the powerful people his family is trying so hard to impress. He's seeing things they just can't.
First up, his eyes land on the queen, Cersei Lannister. And on the surface, wow, she is everything the stories say she is. Golden-haired, green-eyed, covered in jewels. She's the picture-perfect image of royalty.
But yeah, that illusion, it just shatters, almost instantly. Jon, the quiet kid watching from the side, he notices she never even glances at his father. He sees right past that beautiful smile to the coldness underneath. I guess a bastard has to learn to notice things like that, to see the truth that people try to hide.
And then his gaze shifts over to the king. Now, Jon grew up hearing his dad's stories about Robert Baratheon, this legendary warrior. But the man he's actually looking at is a huge disappointment. The gap between the myth and the reality is just brutal. The hero his father told him about is just a fat, drunk man, sweating through his expensive clothes. This is a huge lesson for Jon. The title king and the quality of the man wearing the crown can be two very, very different things.
And that's when he lays eyes on Jaime Lannister, the queen's twin brother. Tall, golden, with a smile that looks sharp enough to cut you. In that moment, you can almost hear Jon think, now that's what a king is supposed to look like. Jaime has that performance of power, that charisma, that King Robert is completely missing.
But then, right after this golden lion, he sees the other one, Tyrion Lannister, the dwarf they call the Imp. With his mismatched eyes and twisted legs, he's a fascinating sight for Jon. He's another outsider, but one who seems to handle his status in a totally different way.
So in the middle of all this people watching and honestly disappointment, an opportunity just kind of appears. It comes in the form of his uncle, Benjen Stark. And to Jon, he represents the perfect solution for his future, a life of honor in the Night's Watch, a place where it doesn't matter who your father was.
And hearing those words from his uncle, a guy he really looks up to, I mean, you can just feel Jon puff up with pride. This is a kind of validation he almost never gets. It's not just an offer, it's someone telling him that he's worth something, that his skills with a sword and a horse matter more than his name. And he just jumps on it, right? He starts making his case, and it's full of this kid's romantic idea of what the Watch is. He sees it as this grand adventure, a chance to be a hero like the famous young dragon. He's so caught up in it, he doesn't even see the irony of wanting to join a brotherhood that gives up family just to escape his own family's judgment.
But Benjen, he pops that fantasy bubble pretty quick. The Watch isn't about glory, he explains. It's about sacrifice. It means giving up everything, your family, your land, and especially the chance to ever have kids of your own. It's a lifetime commitment to a cold, lonely job.
And this is the moment. This is where that heroic dream just smashes into a really painful, really personal reality. And the trigger is just one single comment from his uncle. Well-intentioned, maybe, but absolutely devastating.
Benjen's trying to explain the sacrifice, right? The sacrifice of having a family. But in his attempt to sound worldly and wise, he hits Jon's deepest wound. He casually brings up the one thing Jon is terrified of, becoming the source of the same shame he's had to live with his entire life.
And Jon's reaction? It's not just angry, it's pure pain. He spits the words out like venom. This isn't just him saying no. It's a raw, agonizing cry. It shows us that deep down, he has completely absorbed the shame of his own birth. He doesn't see it as an accident. He sees it as a sin he must never, ever repeat.
And then he looks up and the whole table is dead silent. Everyone is just staring. The fragile bit of pride he felt just a few minutes ago completely shatters. He is utterly humiliated. Blinded by hot tears, he just bolts from the hall, stumbling so hard he knocks over a serving girl's tray. Once again, in front of everyone, he's the outcast.
So there he is, out in the cold, quiet courtyard, feeling disgraced and heartbroken. And that's when this totally unexpected encounter happens. A bit of wisdom is about to come from the most unlikely person at the whole feast.
He finds Tyrion Lannister, just perched up on a ledge above a door. And yeah, he looks exactly like a stone gargoyle that's come to life. The dwarf has also escaped the party, and out here in the dark, he sees the boy and his wolf.
And when Tyrion correctly calls him Ned Stark's bastard, Jon just snaps. All that anger and self-pity just boils over. He lashes out with this bitter challenge. What could this highborn lord, a true Lannister, possibly know about his kind of pain?
And Tyrion, he doesn't fire back with an insult. Instead, he gives him this incredible piece of advice. Probably the most important thing anyone's ever told him. He says, don't hide from it. Don't let it be a weakness. You own it. You wear that label like a suit of armor. And if you accept it, if you make it your own, no one can ever use it to hurt you again.
So Jon asks what Tyrion could possibly know about being a bastard. And this is the gut punch of an answer he gets. Tyrion tells him that even though he has the right name, he's still an outcast in the one place it matters most, to his own father. In that one sentence, he builds a bridge between them, showing Jon that they are both outsiders, defined by things they never got to choose.
As Tyrion walks away, the light from the hall throws his shadow long across the yard. And for just a second, the dwarf looks as tall as a king. It really makes you wonder, right? What is true greatness? Is it about your birth and how you look like Jaime Lannister? Or is it the wisdom you get from turning your greatest weakness into your strongest armor?